So, hey, Otsukara-sama, thank you for joining me for episode 120 on the audio. Let's do a little videoing, shall we, Sanjay?
I'm on it, man.
All right, awesome. So, hey, man, I know like the first time I had you on the show was back at the start of 2018. Yeah?
It's been what, nearly 3 years.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so obviously you grew up in Japan and in Kobe, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
And so
Kobeko.
you've been you're a Quebeco, and you've been a Hanshin fan then for a number of years. Tell me about your first time at Koshien if you remember it.
The first time at Koshan, I have to think it was when a friend of mine and his father had tickets and said, "We're going to treat you to Hanshin Kyojin-sen." And if I'm
Oh,
not mistaken, it was back in the day when they actually had double headers. And because we had to wait
uh-huh.
for school to finish, we got there towards the tail end of the first game or something like that. I'm not
Uh-huh.
really sure exactly, and there, you could probably corroborate this by looking in the archives somewhere. But I went to Koshien Stadium, sat on the first base side, saw how was playing first base, and that was my introduction to a real. The first time I walked into Koshien Stadium,
Wait, how old were you then?
I'm thinking like 8 years old.
Wow. Wow, dude. And so the stadium, being as old as it is from 1924 until now, but it's gone through several changes. So when you first went, it's obviously it was quite different then than it is now, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all the seats are rickety old, and the scoreboard was all manual, right?
Yeah. There you go, dating yourself. Pre-digital, Sanjay. You know, um, yeah. So, do you remember? Did the Tigers win the game?
I don't remember for sure, but I'm guessing that we lost.
What was it? What were the stands like? I mean, from what I hear, the stands were not so full back in the day. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what we were able to get tickets for a doubleheader on I guess it was a weekday, but against the Giants, and the first base side was not full.
You think about that though, like it's a weekday and they did a double header, which means they're setting themselves up for, a very sparse crowd in game one. It's a day game on a weekday, right?
I think that's what it was, and it may have been towards the end of the season when they had to get games in or something. I'm not even
Okay.
sure. Maybe I'm even making this up.
Well, it's
It may
quite
not have
possible.
happened.
What, you going to the game, you mean?
The details part that
Right,
come
right,
up.
right. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, like if it's a doubleheader, they probably didn't schedule it as a doubleheader. So it probably was towards the end of the year when they had to make a game up and they're like, well, let's just put one of them in the afternoon type of thing. So I hear though that you were like part of like kind of that original fan club thing at the start.
Yeah, they had this thing called the Hanshin Tigers Tomo no Kai, I think it was. The group of friends kind of thing. And you had to be an elementary school student in order to qualify. And I went to the Hanshin Sannomiya train station, and you go into the place where they sell like the train passes, and you say, "Hey,
Uh-huh.
I want to become a Hanshin Tigers Tomo no Kai member," and they
Uh-huh.
give you a little sheet to sign up for. And I'm not exactly sure, but I think it was on the order of like 500 yen for a little card that
Okay.
said you were a member. And on the card there were little places, slots that you can punch out, and there were either 10 or 12 of these things, and it gave you the right every time they punched one out, that you had the right to sit in the outfield bleachers for a baseball game, except for a Giants game.
Sweet. And was there a rule like you had to go with a paying member, like a parent or someone that has a ticket, or could you go in there for free, like you and your buddy type of thing?
I'm not 100% clear on that, but I've kind of got to believe that you were supposed to have a parent with you, but it wasn't always enforced.
Okay. Really cool. Really cool. So that, I mean, that was back in the. I'm not going to date you necessarily, but it was certainly back like before Randy Bass, we'll say.
Well before Randy. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Well, so things have changed, and the actual like the current official Hanshin Tigers fan club has only been going on since like 2004 or 2005, something like that. So it's
Hmm.
and that's the one that's for adults, and the one that I've been a part of pretty much since I've been a Hanshin fan. Um, Something you've probably heard of, but I'm guessing since you're in Hawaii, like you've never joined the adult fan club.
No, I certainly haven't, and didn't realize that it was so late that they started. I would have imagined that they would have had it before then.
Yeah, no, I mean apparently that's the beginnings of it. I think it kind of came in a little bit of that the Hoshino revolution, so to speak, because he caused the revolution not only in the game on the field but also off the field, like the operations and stuff like that.
Sure,
And
absolutely.
I think it might have been, I don't know if it was his brainchild, or I read a book by another guy and I forgot his name now, something Saki. Anyways,
Hmm.
and he talked about how he was a part of it too, because he was part of the Hanshin front office, and he was put into the role of like he was a travel agent type, and he was put in the role of baseball operations. All of a sudden, he's like, I don't know the first thing about baseball, and so I remember he said he had a lot of talks with Hoshino, and then also with the owner, who at the time I believe was Kuma.
Yeah, Kuma-san.
Yep.
Yeah,
And he was the owner for a long time. Well, anyway,
yeah.
so they talked, and I think Hoshino just really like started to say, like, you understand that, like, you need to start putting a winning product on the field. You understand that you've got to do something to make fans want to come to games. And it was through things like this that this other Zaki, whatever his name was, I forget, this guy also who was in the front office started to, get all these ideas as well. And so that's where it came about. And I've been a member now since 2015 of the fan club, and I remember like it was either 15 or 16. I wrote an email to them, and I said, "Hey, is this fan club available to the outside world, like outside of Japan?"
Hmm.
And they were like, "Oh, sorry, we can't do that." I think now they can, but they just call it the light plan. So you could probably sign up without your address, and then nothing gets mailed to you, and you just get the magazines digitally, and you still get the discount on tickets. But if you're living overseas, that really doesn't do anything for you. And you get a
Okay,
digital
fair enough.
version of your fan club card.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Um,
Did not know that.
yeah, yeah, and well, they never said like, "Oh, that's available for people overseas," but I'm assuming that it is. But so here's the thing, man. Like, I've been, I was digital 1 year because I was like, I don't want to put this much money into the product I see on the field. I think 2019, because they had such a poor 2018. I was like, I'll show you guys. I'm giving you less money. I still give my money. Anyways, I'm back to regular member, and they just sent the renewal for the 2021 season. I mean,
Uh-huh.
they opened up the box office, so to speak, for getting into the fan club for next year. I think this past Monday, and I got this magazine in the mail as part of my 2020 fan club membership. And it's basically, the whole magazine is just, here's how you get back into the club, and here's the swag that we're offering, and here's the incentive for doing it, and all that kind of stuff. And so, I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, speaking of kids being in clubs, you can have your kid join the club. It's more than 500 yen now. It's 2,500 yen, but it's kind of the same deal. They get 10 up to 10 tickets for free to
Mhm.
games if they go with another. I think it might even have to be another fan club member. So
Ah,
it's
okay.
called the Family Shinsei or something like that. So family application.
Right, okay.
So I'm
Makes
contemplating.
sense.
My oldest son is 7, and he really likes the Tigers, and he's like, I want to do that, Daddy. And so we might join as a family, and then he gets 10 free tickets, and then that's an excuse for me to go to 10 games. So
Yeah. So in my household, that would not even be a might. It would be, it's a done deal.
there you go. And so here's the swag. I'll show it. There we go, something like
Okay,
that.
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the
Cool.
different options that we've got for fan club members. And so it's if you auto renew, you actually get the sunglasses if you're a guy, and you get the watch if you're a girl. That's if you auto renew. But if you're a new member, you get to choose. And even if you're an old member, you can still choose. You just have to take yourself off of auto renewal of your membership. There's the yellow mesh jersey, which comes out every year, and I've got my Gaijin's jersey because of that. There's the sunglasses. There's a tote bag or a duffel bag. There's a Kita pillow that actually turns into a little Kita doll. And my son was like, "I want you to get that one, Daddy." No chance. There's a foldable micro chair, and I think that's it. Those are the options. But then also, if you introduce somebody to the club, both people get it's like a two-way lantern, which is kind of cool.
I see where this is going. I see where this conversation is going.
What am I doing here? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then also, if you introduce like 2 or more people, this is just for the, like, so that lantern actually goes to both people, the new member as well as the the
Introducer.
person who introduces. If you introduce 2 people, you get that, but you also get a chance at you get put into a draw for a signed uniform or a signed baseball. And if you introduce 3 or more people, then you automatically get a signed, you know what a shikishi is, but maybe our listeners don't.
Yeah.
A shikishi is like a square board where they do their signed autographs on. You might see them like on TV shows or in restaurants in Japan where famous people sign them. You automatically get assigned one of those of one of the players. So I want to go for it, but I need your help. Not you, Sanjay, but everybody else out there. Well, you too, if you want, Sanjay. But if you want to join the Hanshin Tigers official club, that extra swag will be yours. But the catch is this: you've actually got to sign up for it via my Patreon, and you got to sign up for the proxy services tier, which is $3 a month. So we're basically tacking on. We're kind of doubling the price of the fan club in a sense, right? Instead of it being 3,900 yen, which I think it is, or is it 42? It's 39, I think. Yeah, 39. Instead of 39, it's 75 for overseas people. But the stuff will get sent to me, and then I'll send it off to you. Of course, you got to cover that shipping as well. But you get to be in the fan club. You get the official fan club card. You get the swag, and you get bragging rights to be an overseas Hanshin Tigers fan club member. That's where it's at.
One of a select few, right?
One of a select few that has gotten in touch with T-Ray to make it happen. So no pressure on anybody to do that, and certainly on Sanjay. I'm not doing a sales pitch on you right here. It's not even really a sales pitch for anybody. I mean, if nobody responds to this, so be it. But the offer is on the table for you. Let me know if you're interested. Yeah, I'm going to remain a fan and a fan club member at least for the next year, and we'll see where things go after that. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed our little bonus episode / sales pitch. I've got the link down for the Patreon account right in the video description, so go check that out. And yeah, thank you, Sanjay, for the pointing. I don't know if it registered because you weren't talking, but appreciate you joining me for this extra. And we will catch you all next time, everybody. This has been Sanjay and T-Ray for H10. See ya.
Aloha, everybody.